Imagine the greatest treasures in history being stolen right under the world's eyes in less than 4 minutes. Not a painting on a wall, but royal jewels honed and polished by the hands of history itself. A window opens, a hand snatches with surgical precision, and motorcycles roar through the streets carrying priceless pieces centuries old as if they had never existed. What happened in the heart of Paris, inside the legendary Louvre Museum, was not just a simple theft. It was a thunderous slap to the face of Western civilization, a shocking lesson proving that history, with all its weight and symbolism, can vanish in complete silence in the blink of an eye. But the biggest surprise you need to know, this is not just an end, it's the start of a new chapter. Paris, in calm before the storm. The day of the heist. On that morning, just before sunrise, Paris breathed in the quiet, crisp November air. The river shimmered gently, and tourists crowded along the banks, capturing the beauty of the world's most famous museum, the Louvre. The building itself feels like a guardian of the world and its treasures, watching over history since immemorial. That day, while thousands of eyes were captivated by other halls, like the room housing the Mona Lisa, no one noticed anything unusual near the riverside facade. Everything seemed routine. Security patrols going about their rounds, staff opening interior doors. No tension, no danger, no alarm. Absolute calm. A calm that would soon be shattered by one of the boldest breaches in modern French history. Behind that serene exterior, someone was preparing to steal an entire slice of history, relying on insider knowledge of the critical weaknesses in one of the most heavily guarded places on Earth. The daring plan, how they slipped in, exploiting the gaps. 4 men arrived, not in a dramatic or hidden manner, but simply disguised as maintenance or delivery workers contracted by the museum. Ordinary clothes, ordinary faces, nothing to draw suspicion. This disguise was their first weapon, the art of blending into routine. They quietly approached a side facade overlooking the river, a spot known for lighter surveillance than the main entrances. Even more dangerous, this area was regularly used for maintenance trucks coming and going. They carried a small mobile crane, a tool that looked entirely ordinary. Standing before a window that, it was later revealed, had its alarm sensor temporarily deactivated for scheduled maintenance, they prepared to execute their plan. This revelation would later ignite a storm of accusations within the museum and in political circles. Within seconds, the crane was in place. Using specialized tools, they silently shattered the reinforced glass. In a matter of minutes, they slipped through a window directly into one of the Louvre's grandest halls, the Galerie d'Apollon. This room is far more than a display area. It is a treasury of the jewels of France's kings, history enshrined in diamonds, rubies, and precious stones that symbolize the power, authority, and prestige that ruled Europe for centuries. The critical moment, a silent heist with deadly precision. The moment they entered the hall, their demeanor shifted from maintenance workers to cold, precise execution machines. They went straight to the target without hesitation or search. This confirmed that the operation relied on highly detailed insider information, possibly with help from someone within the Louvre. No hesitation, no panic, no stray words picked up by hidden microphones. They opened the display cabinets, not violently, but with specialized keys or advanced lock bypassing tools. The level of professionalism stunned investigators. They removed 8 unique diamond pieces with surgical precision, as if preserving them before disappearance. Each of the 8 carried a royal story, historic wedding crowns, necklaces once worn by Marie Antoinette, or pins that had adorned kings. In mere seconds, these priceless stories vanished into specially prepared small cases. The escape. 4 minutes was enough to rip history from its roots. After executing the plan with clockwork efficiency, they exited the same way they entered, through the window. Once on the street, another surprise awaited them. Instead of an ordinary car that could get stuck in Paris traffic, they mounted powerful sports motorcycles accompanied by other riders. They raced through the bustling streets of Paris, using the bike's speed and agility to navigate the alleys before anyone inside could comprehend what had happened. 4 minutes. 4 minutes was all it took to uproot entire chapters of French history. From the moment the motorcycles roared into the streets, a frantic race against time began. The delayed security alert came 15 minutes after the thieves had left, a window large enough for the professionals to vanish into the labyrinthine streets of the French capital.
Why these pieces mattered beyond their monetary value. The initial estimated value of the stolen jewels reached 88 million euros, a staggering sum. Yet, as investigators and experts later revealed, the truth was far greater. These pieces were not for sale in any ordinary market. They are symbols of an entire nation, priceless because of the memory of rulers. Each diamond tells the story of fallen and risen thrones, tales of triumph and downfall. The jewelry itself is historical documentation, power, and prestige. Their presence at the Louvre reinforced France's role as guardian of European heritage. Today, these treasures have shifted from eternal symbols to the subject of a chase through darkness, ignorance, and greed. A theft of such audacity cannot have been for ordinary resale. It was likely commissioned by a collector or a powerful criminal network. The shock and initial investigation, the Louvre trembles. All of Paris shook. The world was stunned. How could a theft of this magnitude occur in one of the most secured museums, which had invested billions in security after previous incidents? Questions poured in, public outrage, political accusations toward museum management and the Ministry of Culture, a looming fear that this heritage might vanish forever into the black market of art. Investigators realized quickly that the real puzzle wasn't the theft itself, it was what would happen next. A door to terror opens. Experts' theories. French authorities, alongside international agencies including Interpol, worked day and night. They tracked nearby phone communications, analyzed the materials used to break the glass, ultra-advanced tools, and reviewed the timing and movements of the security staff. Who stole the jewels? Where did they disappear to in this digital age? And why do some experts believe this was only the beginning of a global series of thefts targeting the symbols of civilization? If you think the theft ended the moment the motorcycles vanished into the streets, you don't know the dark side of this world. Professionals don't steal to sell the piece as is. They steal to turn it into raw, untraceable material. Here begins the journey of the missing jewels, a journey that could end with them broken into separate stones, smuggled to countries beyond international jurisdiction, or worn by powerful criminals, or even new emperors. The theft is only the beginning. Now we enter the shadowy chamber of artifact trafficking. The world after the heist. Where do the stolen treasures go? Once the Louvre was closed and investigations began, one question emerged. Where did the royal pieces go? In the black market, nothing is impossible. Vast networks specialize in smuggling art and falsifying provenance, turning historical treasures into the personal property of wealthy criminals or collectors with no conscience. These networks have an extraordinary ability to wash the history of each piece. The disappearance plan. Scenarios of horror. Investigators and experts fear three main scenarios. Diamond dismantling, the greatest danger. Precious stones are removed from their royal settings, erasing the historical record entirely. They become ordinary jewels in the market, losing all trace of royal origin. Jewelry is reassembled in entirely new designs, making their original form unrecognizable. A royal necklace could become pins or bracelets. Cross-continental transfers. Secret operatives. Pieces move through multiple intermediaries and safe storage worldwide, often in conflict zones or countries not cooperating with such investigations, eventually sold silently to hidden elite buyers seeking control. Every scenario is worse than the last because with every step, a piece of human memory is lost. Ongoing investigation. Technology versus the unknown. The situation worsened as it became clear that the Louvre thieves were so professional they avoided surveillance cameras intentionally, seemingly knowing every blind spot. Every clue led to dead ends. Police focused on analyzing staff communications and museum routines in the 6 months preceding the theft. New employees, maintenance systems, internal disputes. These are not ordinary thieves. They are professionals, always one step ahead, vanishing thanks to careful planning. Who stands behind the theft? Disturbing hypotheses. Months of investigation surfaced major possibilities: international crime syndicate, networks that steal only high-value historical or artistic targets exceeding 50 million euros, funded by a powerful art dealer with money laundering networks capable of erasing history. Private collector above the law, the most chilling scenario, where the pieces may now exist only as private decor in a secluded palace far from the world's eyes forever. Each name and hypothesis adds a new layer, making the truth increasingly elusive. The most dangerous reality, the shocking message. The real danger is not just the loss of jewels or their monetary value, but the message the thieves left civilization. Even the most priceless treasures of history can be taken silently, without a trace. If they could steal a nation's history from its fortified bastion, what's next? Which civilization pays the price in the future? This theft opened the door to similar crimes in other museums and exposed security vulnerabilities in even the most respected institutions. The world waits anxiously. The Louvre watches nervously. The investigation has not ended. It has evolved into a complex international case. These pieces may suddenly appear in a shadowy secret auction or be buried in darkness, vanishing completely for generations to come. Even if history is eventually restored, this theft remains an open wound in civilization's heart, a symbol that the battle between guardian and thief is eternal. Do you think the authorities, despite all obstacles, will recover the jewels and return history to its rightful place? Or have these treasures been stolen forever, living only as legends in the world of organized crime? Share your thoughts and subscribe to follow the latest developments in one of the greatest unsolved mysteries to shake the world.